What you see is what you get. Hey, 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 honeybees, come on in. I'm just waiting until noon for people to come on in. This is the dramatics. What you see is what you get. I've been I've been grooving out for the last few minutes because y'all, if you could have seen me a few minutes ago, whew, I was like, oh my goodness. I said, let me make some coffee. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so it's about to be noon. I very rarely can have any caffeine, let's say after 2 o'clock. So me drinking coffee at noon, y'all know I needed it. What you see is what you get. The best thing yet. The best thing yet. You're the best thing yet. I decided to be silly today. As you see, ooh, it's noon. Let's go ahead and start. Come on in, everyone. Share the live. Um, hello. Is what you get. Is what you get. What you see is what you get. Okay, time to turn this off. All right. Hi, everybody. I put on some music to energize myself. I got a good night's sleep last night, and I kept waking up. And so I got a good night's sleep, and I feel rested. But then I think all of that energy kind of drained out of me from the work I was doing this morning. And so I had to put some music on. I had to get some coffee. The music really helped. The music really helped. What is that? Like 70s, 80s music? That was good. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. I've got all my honeybees on from all over the social media world, from all over the countries, states, what have you. Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about self-love. And I do have to say, I didn't plan this, but me dancing to the music, that was a portion of self-love. Sometimes you just gotta do something good for yourself. And I talked about this on my TikTok live yesterday. For those of you on LinkedIn who missed it, sorry, I had some technical difficulties. And then I tried to post a post about an hour before saying I was going to have technical difficulties, and that didn't work. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde. I don't know, but I keep going. I keep persevering because what has your empowerment coach taught you? You keep going. You do it messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's hard, y'all, because my dad says I'm a perfectionist, and I didn't really realize it until he told me. And he's like the hardest working person I know outside of his dad. And so if he says I'm a perfectionist, then I'm a perfectionist. And if he tells me to slow down, then I got to slow down. So that's why I have this new mantra that I'm basically telling you. And as I talk to you, I'm talking to myself that just do it messy. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? We're human. We're human. Okay, let's get into it. How to love yourself when you don't feel like you deserve it. And also when the world is crumbling down around you. Maybe a little bit of the portion of why I lost some of my energy is we have the No King's Day protest. I mentioned yesterday, my cousin and I have a YouTube talk show called Gilia and Kim Elevating and Empowering. Go check it out on YouTube. We are hilarious. I'm going to get her on here. If you're listening right now, cuz, hi, I love you. And I think you need to come on here. She has a therapy and social work background. So we are both very much into helping and giving and coaching people. And we did a show, our last show, which was a few days ago on Saturday, about LGBTQIA rights being rolled back. And we also were kind of celebrating Pride. But so the No King's Day protests, the 25 to 45 million dollars expected to have been spent on the Army's 250th anniversary celebration / Trump's birthday, plane crashes, with the India airplane crash with UK nationals, Palestine, Israel, Iran, Russia, China. I laugh to keep from crying. You know, our civil and human rights being rolled back in this country, the travel ban of I don't know dozens of countries, mainly from Africa and the Caribbean, you know, which really touched me because these are people that look like me. I have not yet had the opportunity to go to the continent of Africa, but I want to. And my lineage, my great grandfather was from Cape Verde, and that was one of the uh, African countries that was uh, had the ban here to the U.S. And I'm like, the world. Let's not even talk about job loss, people getting laid off, prices, gas prices, grocery prices. It's just so much, y'all. It is just so much. And I wanted to do the show because how do we love ourselves and take care of ourselves when the world literally is crashing and burning? And I want to say something that my IFS coach, Philippe, told me. Shout out to Philippe. I'm going to leave Philippe's LinkedIn. I hope that's okay, Philippe, if you need some IF coaching because they are amazing. Oh my God. Literally, any IFS coach that I have run into, my girl Jessica is an IFS coach. And when I tell you, like, the breakthroughs that these IFS trained coaches have given to me. So I am not an IFS coach. I'm an empowerment coach. I direct people to how culture has shaped their lives, right? And why it may be holding them back in life or why they may think a certain way about themselves because of the cultural norms. I know I'm all over the place, y'all. Bear with me. I'm essentially talking to myself. Let's see if we have any comments. But I was saying that my I in IFS stands for Internal Family Systems Coaching. So my IFS coach Philippe was saying that they had heard that the systems aren't crumbling, a system is crumbling, or something like, or the world isn't crumbling, a world is crumbling, right? And I love that. And I also heard someone else say that yesterday online. And it makes so much sense, right? Because we're like, oh no, this world as we know it is starting to look so different. And people are in angst and anxiety and depression and turmoil and anger, right? But when my coach Philippe said that, I was like, it means a world, not the world, right? So I like to look at it as a world that is not compassionate to others, a world that doesn't value the American worker, uh, the world that doesn't value intellectualism or science or diversity or equity for all or including others or letting people do whatever they want to do that does not disrupt your life. Right? I mentioned that yesterday. I'm like, I was also telling my coach Philippe that I feel like an alien because I don't understand what's going on here on earth, right? I don't understand why you care so much about who someone loves or what color someone's skin is or who who lives next door to you that's perfectly happy fine family. Like I don't get racism. I don't get not voting for someone because of their gender. I'm talking about Kamala Harris, right? And they'll never say that. They'll never say I didn't vote for um, a President Harris because she's a Black Indian woman. No, they'll say I didn't like the way she laughed. I don't like her policies. And I'm like, well, how you feel about that now? I don't understand. I don't understand how the best qualified person doesn't always win, right? I don't. Bob Marley has the song, and I don't know what the song is, but there's a line in the song that says, I'm paraphrasing, hopefully one day the color of our skin will matter no more than the color of our eyes, right? Like we're not discriminating against each other because we have brown or blue or green eyes. Most people you ask, they don't even know what color people's eyes are, or not even their wives sometimes. But like, and once again, I say I feel like an alien because how come we discriminate on people on the basis of their skin color, but not their eye color or their hair color, right? If you think about it, just a thought. So, circling back around, I've been thinking about all of this and I've been talking to clients and friends and my coach and my therapy because yes, it takes a team. I mentioned this yesterday. It takes a team for me to wake up in the morning and try to spread motivation and empowerment and joy because y'all, everything that you are dealing with or have dealt with, I probably have to. And if I haven't, then maybe someone close to me. I often tell people, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, right? And that's good and bad. You could see someone with the nicest car, biggest house, a lot of money, great career, beautiful family, healthy, in shape, bouncy hair, perfect curls, taking overseas trips, running a successful business. You could see someone and envy them and be jealous of them and be like, wow, I wish my life was like that. And what I often ask other people to consider, people that might think like that, because it's very easy. It's very easy to see someone with a lot of money or a great romantic relationship or beautiful kids and be like, I want that. Why not me? Right. And that's fine to say that, but also being envious of people that have that. And I often remind people that we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know what health issue that person is dealing with. You don't know what marital or family issue, if someone in their life is sick. You don't know their finances. They could look like they got a lot. They could look like they got a lot and literally have $5 in the bank or it be overdrawn. Like you just don't know. And so I offer that one for you to consider. One is to never be envious or jealous of someone else, right? It's okay to say, wow, good for them that they have that beautiful car or they have that beautiful romantic partnership, or they have all these great friends. Say good for them. But two is love yourself because you are where you are right now, and love yourself in that spot, right? As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, right? I am building Sweet Like Honey coaching. I am coaching people. And yet there's a lot of turmoil in my life. And because I'm so empathetic and compassionate, I'm literally feeling what other people are feeling. I'm trying to take care of others. And at the end of the day, which I tell all of you, take care of yourselves, right? Especially you women out there, especially if you're a mother and especially if you're a Black woman, right? Because as I always say, we tend to take care of everyone, even strangers. So put yourself first, even if that means 10 minutes sitting in your car, doing some deep breathing, right? Or, taking a longer shower. You can make up for the water usage later. Reading a book, going to bed early, whatever, drinking a nice cold glass of water on a hot day. Do whatever it takes to nourish yourself, to love yourself, which is what we're talking about right now. So, the first point that I wanted to make is radical worthiness isn't earned, it's remembered, right? So, I was just talking about, excuse me, I was just talking about feeling like you're not worthy of love or to love yourself because you don't like the way that your life looks right now. You may be unemployed. That's okay. You may really desire romantic love and partnership. That's okay. You may be looking for your community of like-minded people and you can't find them. And maybe the people around you, it's a little uncomfortable or difficult to be around. Let's say if you have different religious views or different views on social issues, or I mean, it could be political views. It could be a lot of things. And you're looking for your community and you're not finding them. That's okay. Maybe you're struggling with your mental health and wellness and you're not quite sure what to do next. That's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be loved, right? And no one, honeybees, can love you better than you love yourself. As I'm talking to you, what? Say it with me. Say it with me. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself, right? You don't have to feel worthy to be worthy, right? Just know that you are worthy, even when you feel your absolute lowest today, or your absolute lowest, or you're just not feeling like you're doing enough. You're still worthy. I I'm going to tell you right now, you are still worthy. If you got up in the morning and breath came into your lungs, you are worthy. Maybe you didn't even get up, right? Maybe you're still in bed listening to my voice or watching this. You're still worthy. Know that. Um, and this is something that I am learning, right? I have notes, that's why I'm looking over here. That your value isn't based on performance, productivity, or how together your life looks. Like for me, I've always held the idea that if I worked really hard, I would be valuable. And the harder I worked, the more valuable I would be. And like I said, I still struggle with this, because I've had over 5 decades of kind of having it ingrained, not only culturally in the world that I live, but also in my family of origin. We pride ourselves on working hard, and that also leads to burnout. And when you're not able to work hard, or you're not doing something that you think is valuable, or you think the world doesn't think is valuable, then you start to feel unworthy, right? And this is what I'm going through right now. And I always say, as I'm coaching and teaching and training others, all of this comes back to me. And I'm like, oh, do I not feel like I deserve love and attention and care because I don't feel like I'm working hard enough? Right. And what's hard enough? What is hard enough? Because I'm sure there are billionaires who still hustle and grind because they feel like they're not working hard enough, even though they have that metric of $1 billion. And that's probably it's not a great analogy, because I'm going to say this: billionaires don't necessarily have to work hard because they have millions of people working for them. Um, so what I'm saying is, like, someone that's a janitor at, an establishment, just because they don't make as much as the billionaire does not mean that that janitor doesn't work as hard. That's what I'm saying. Or someone that works at McDonald's doesn't inherently work less than someone that's a CEO of a company. All that being said, love yourself despite thinking that your life doesn't look like what you want it to look like. Working harder is not going to equal self love, right? Only loving yourself is going to equal self love. So take a nap, sit down, let's just chill. Okay. The world is going bat, what, crazy. So you might as well sit down and read a book. Okay. Um, Love is also not a reward for healing. I think a lot of times I have heard this, particularly from women, that if we heal, once I'm healed, then I can love myself, or then I'm worthy of love from the outside world. Let me first tell you about being worthy of love from the outside world. Cut it out. Stop thinking about it. No one is as important as you. All right? Which means that no one's opinion is over yours, which means that you have the responsibility of loving yourself, not your children, not your parents, not your family, not your spouse, not your romantic partner, not your boss. It's not their job to love you. It's your job to love you. Woo! Bars. It is your job to love you. Because really, how do we expect someone else to love us if we don't love ourselves? We've all heard that before. But take for example, let me find a juicy example. This is just off the top of the dome. If you think you're only worthy of McDonald's money when you were a kid, you'd say, "Can we have McDonald's?" And your mom would be like, "Do you have McDonald's money?" Because McDonald's used to be a big treat. Now it's just whatever. But if you think you're only worth McDonald's money, how do you expect someone to take you to Michelin star restaurants? Right? Like, you don't think you're worth Michelin star restaurants money. If you only give yourself McDonald's, how is someone else going to automatically know that you are worth a Michelin star restaurant? Like, give yourself the Michelin star restaurant. Stop waiting for other people's approval and validation. And I know it's hard. We grow up, 99% of us, or maybe it's like hardwired in us. Biology majors, psychologists weigh in here. Seeking outside approval, right? Because when you're a baby, you have to have the approval of your caretakers, the adults around you, or you'll die, right? Right? Maybe not when you're a baby, but a little older, because we look for people's approval, especially as a child, and that forms how we culturally develop in this world. But now, my love, my honeybee, my sweetness, you're an adult and you're allowed to give yourself that approval, right? Just say, "I approve of myself." Say it again. "I approve of myself." If there's people around you, who cares? Say it louder. "I approve of myself." Right? And even if you really don't feel like you approve of yourself and it's hard to say it, I want you to check in with yourself right now and say, why is that so hard for me to say? In what area in my life do I not approve of myself? Because if there's something, I thought someone was at my front door. There's something. And keep trying, right? Because you are worthy of approval and love. And you have to be the one to give that to yourself. You are the most important person in your life. So love yourself. Love yourself. Okay. Oh, here's a mantra. I am worthy because I exist. So you can do the one that I just said earlier. I approve of myself. Put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. And you can do the second mantra that I just said. Go ahead and take a deep breath. I am worthy because I exist. I am worthy because I exist. I am worthy because I exist. Take another deep breath. You, my honeybee, are worthy because you exist. Okay, so you can be on fire and you could still be sacred, right? You can still be on fire and you can still be sacred. So the world could be burning down around you. That doesn't mean that you and your soul still aren't connected to divinity, right? Your soul's not burning down. You as a person, you are not burning down, right? You can still pour love into yourself. You can still pour love into others. As you guys know, I love analogies and metaphors. So with this saying, you can be on fire and still be sacred, this vivid image came up for me of awful times where religious temples, churches, synagogues, mosques have been maliciously burnt on purpose, right? So imagine a church and it's burning down, or a mosque that's been bombed and it's burning down, or a synagogue. Even though that place of worship is burning down, it's still on sacred land, right? So I want to relate that, like I said to you, even though the world around you is burning down and these systems are crumbling and it's very uncomfortable and it's very difficult to watch and it's very difficult to be in for my people that are actually having to deal with this on a personal basis, like war zones. Um, there's still divinity there, right? Your soul still knows the right direction that humanity is going to go in. And so that's something I really want you to take into consideration, that even though everything is crazy, you can be whole and still in yourself, in your body, in your own temple. I hope that makes sense to someone. Um, because it can be very, is it unstabilizing? Destabilizing? It can make you very unstable when there are so many horrific and terrible things, and things that make you angry going on around you. But take some time out, meditate. I always say sit and do, either meditate with your eyes closed, right, watching your thoughts go by, or practice deep breathing exercises, or just take the time to sit and do nothing. And I've said this before, that's, to me, that is so difficult. That is so probably more difficult than meditating for me. And I've tried to make it a practice that I will just sit and do nothing. It's nicer when it's outside. And when I tell you, my monkey mind, my brain is like, "Oh, you should go get a glass of water. Oh, did you send that email? Oh, maybe I should eat some cherries. Oh, I should call. Ooh, let me check the time." Y'all, it is constant noise in our heads. And we can be the ones to control that, right? If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel very anxious, know that it is really a part of self love to know that you can control that within you. I didn't say it was going to be easy to control it. I didn't say it was going to be easy, right? It's simple, but not easy to just sit and do nothing for 30 minutes. Maybe that will be one of my lives one day. Oh my God, to just sit, and we can all just sit together and do nothing. And I guess I'll just be looking at myself for 30 minutes. Leave in the comments if that's something that you would like, because it's like accountability, right? Or maybe I'll do it on a Zoom call and we'll all just sit on the Zoom call and, look outside or wherever. That actually kind of sounds like fun. But like I said earlier, the chaos and the turmoil and the anxiety outside doesn't cancel your inner divinity. It doesn't cancel your connection with your higher power, whether you call that higher power Allah, God, Buddha, ancestors, source. Um, and if you don't have a higher power, like you're agnostic or you're atheist, just connect with your heartbeat. Connect with your heartbeat, right? So everything going on outside doesn't connect that special place inside of you, your inner divinity. Okay, I wrote a lot of notes and we're running out of time, but some of this is really good. One thing, like I said, just try to sit with yourself, even if you can affirm to yourself when you start getting anxious that just something about you that, you know, about you loving yourself. And I mentioned earlier, you can just simply say, I love myself. I am worthy because I exist. Um, I like who I am. Just to ground yourself back to that inner divinity, right? So I love this. When you can't love yourself, let compassion sit beside you. This is awesome, because sometimes I will have clients and I'll give them this exercise that I love, and I've used it for over 10 years now. And it's not mine. I got it from a book, but you just look at yourself in the mirror and you just say, I love you, right? I love you. Like, look deep into your eyes, take a deep breath into the mirror and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. It is very difficult for people. I've done it in a room of teenagers once, and it was the teenagers and the adults in the room. It was more than half of them could not look themselves in the eye and say, I love you. Because I think in our culture, we have been taught that it's arrogant or selfish to put so much care and concern into ourselves. Like we need to give it to others. And you don't want to come off as egotistical, right? And some people don't love themselves because the world has taught them not to. So that's an exercise that I have done several times at workshops. And it's very interesting to notice how many of us, it's just so hard for us to even think about loving ourselves. And I always say that's okay. You know, if you can't look yourself in the eye, you know, try doing it when you brush your teeth, right? You don't have to look yourself in the eye. You can just brush your teeth and I love you, and then work up to the eyes. Or when you're in your car, say I love you, or whenever you need it. Like think about the times when you tell people that you love them. It could be when you're walking out the door, you know, see you tonight, I love you. It could be when they need some connection. It could be a lot of things. Start putting yourself into the shoes of the person that you're saying I love you to. And if you're someone that never says I love you, start saying it to yourself, right? Start saying it to yourself. And if that's so difficult that you just can't utter those words, that's okay. Like I said, let compassion sit beside you. Oftentimes it's very hard to love ourselves, particularly if we weren't raised to have a positive self-respect and self-view of who we are. And even if we were raised like that, sometimes it erodes because life, y'all, be lifing. Life is definitely difficult at times, and depending on who you are, it could be difficult a lot of times, right? So, as I give you compassion and as I give you grace, I want you to do that for yourself. Give yourself grace, give yourself compassion. Let compassion sit next to you like this. Hey, compassion. Hey, right? Because if you can't say, I love you, that's okay. But give yourself compassion for that. Don't try to push it like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. I don't love myself. No, like I said, compassion right here is your buddy, is your buddy. You don't have to force love. Just create space for kindness. Kindness for you. A lot of y'all, I know, especially my women out there, you create kindness for everybody else. Yes, I'll wash the dishes. Yes, I'll take the meeting notes. Yes, I'll work your shift. Yes, I'll work overtime and come in on a Saturday. You have this kindness, so you visit your mom in the hospital. You have this kindness for everyone else, but you neglect that kindness for yourself. Let's just sit with that for a minute. You neglect that kindness for yourself. But everybody else, why? You deserve kindness. You deserve love. Yeah. Actually, I think we're gonna end there. I have so much more. When I write these notes, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna say all this, and y'all know me and my tangents. But let me leave you all with another mantra. I was gonna do the ones I did before. The ones before as I love myself. I said I am worthy because I exist. Right? You'll say that I am worthy because I exist. Um, And let's do this one. This is just something to think about. Even when I feel unworthy, I am still sacred. Remember, I had that image of the place of worship burning, but it's still a sacred place, right? Even when the world's burning around you, you are still a sacred place. Your soul is sacred. So even when I feel unworthy, I am still sacred. I am still love. I am still here. And that is enough, right? That's enough. You're still here every day. I once heard someone say, whatever it takes to keep you alive every day, do it, right? If you are like, oh, I should run 5 miles a day, or I should stop eating carbs, or I should stop eating chocolate, or I should stop smoking, or whatever keeps you alive. Like, I'm not saying that smoking is good. Don't come at me. I'm talking about like legal cannabis, not nicotine. But a lot of people are like, oh, I want to slow down, or, I want to change this in my life, or I need to do 100 push-ups a day, or I need to go to the gym, twice a day. And you just can't. Like, you're watching Netflix, you're scrolling, you're eating chocolate, you're eating carbs. And this person said, whatever keeps you alive and happy, do it. There will be a time that will come that, yes, you will go to the gym twice a day. You will stop smoking. You will stop eating carbs. But maybe today, in this time and place, isn't the time for you to also work on discipline. Now, obviously, if it's something that is a life-saving measure, like losing a certain amount of weight, or before surgery, or your doctor said stop smoking cigarettes, or they're going to have to take a lung, like, I'm not, come on, y'all, but I feel like sometimes I do have to point this out, because people in my comments are like, well, you should definitely stop smoking. Of course you should stop smoking cigarettes. I'm talking about cannabis. If what you're doing isn't harming you or someone else, just let it be for a while, until you're mentally, emotionally, spiritually in a good place where you're like, yes, let me work on my discipline and willpower. Eating a chocolate chip cookie after dinner, that's what I'm talking about. If it keeps you alive and it keeps you happy, eat the damn cookie. Eat the damn cookie. Okay? This was a fun live. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. I will be back tomorrow. As you see, I've gotten the camera, I've fixed it, kind of. We'll see how that goes. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Feel free to message me if you have a question, if you need some support. I got you. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.